Good morning, my name is Katinka. I'm the seamstress at the cottage. Today is another collaboration with Tiffany from Hosier Handmade. My friend sent me this fabric in 2018 from America, and I was then still living in South Africa, and I've never wanted to cut it up because it's just so pretty. But I'm doing a collaboration with Tiffany from Hosier Handmade, and she's got the same fabric. And then on Tuesday coming, we're both going to reveal what we've made. So I need to get going, and I still don't want to cut up the fabric because I have fabric commitment issues. But I'm going to do it now. I think I want some shirring at the top, and I think I want a little frill on the shoulder, and I want it long. So I've got this pattern, New Look, D0598. But instead of doing the little pleats down the front, I am going to fold the pattern back, just do some shirring here until there, so it's just on the bust side, then give it straps and give it a frill that comes from there, and make it as long as I can. Okay, I've cut it out. I have these pieces that I hope will be enough for a frill. Then I have these pieces that if I need anything, I might be able to patch them together, but that's all I have left over. So one of the things that you can do when you're working with things and you don't have the right color is to go with grey. Mostly with grey, you can find it actually blends in quite well. The first thing I'm going to do is to make a seam at the top, and afterwards I can then pull the elastic through it, and then I'm going to start shirring on the front. I had a thing that I unpicked, and it had this light pink shirring elastic, and I kept it, so I filled some bobbins. And I'm ready to start. So when you do shirring, remember to loosen your screw, that screw there. I usually give it about 1.5 to 2 turns. Then you put your bobbin in, like you would normally do it. It's nice and loose. I've pinned a little hem there, which can either be a little frill at the top, or if I need to, I can add an elastic into that. And I'm going to just start shirring. You put your stitch length a bit longer, about 4. That's on 0, and that's it. Now you just sew. Usually you would draw lines on it, but I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry about pulling or anything. It will, when you steam it afterwards, it will pull it in. That's where we are. Now I'm going to keep on doing rows. My next row, I will move my needle to the side and then use that as my guide next to the last one that I sewed. And then just keep going until I've done it all. I don't want a lot of gathers. I don't want it over my boobs. So it's literally just going to be gathered at the top. So this is my last row of gathers. And when I start, I don't go backwards and forwards. I will pull the threads through afterwards and tie knots. And you just pull your fabric tight and go. I don't stretch the fabric, I just pull it so it's flat. This is my last row. I'm not going to go all the way to the end. Like I said, I don't want it to pull in under my arms or anything. And then afterwards I turn it around and I find the loop from the front, and then I tie knots. The typical slip knot because they hold the best. Over, under, under, over. There we go. And I choose not to cut these threads off even afterwards, just because if something happens that I can tie them again. Remember when you change back to normal cotton to actually tighten the screw again, or your tension will be terrible. So I lined the straps with my grey that was over, and I have now roll hemmed the frill and the frill on the shoulder, and now I need to gather that. One thing you need to remember, make sure you use a good quality cotton when you gather. I just broke a needle because there was a knot in the cotton. I bought cheap cotton from Hobbycraft. They were 2 in the back, and I thought they were okay, but they're not. So I took out the coats. That's a better quality, and I'm going to wind 2 bobbins because I don't want to run out. So I was 10 centimeters to the end of where I had to gather, and then this cotton, you can actually see all of that was like bunched up, and it broke the needle. I added the frill. It took forever. So my frill in the end, I had to just put all the pieces together. You will see there's quite a few places where I just connected it. I like the gathering because it gives it a nice weight. And then I've done this. I'm now going to add the elastic through that casing, and then I can do the sleeves and the binding. I've also finished put the gathering stitches on the sleeves, and I've hemmed it with a roll hem. Okay, I like it. I don't like how this is too loose, so I'll make that elastic tighter. I do need to do something about the back. It's bobbling, so I think I'm going to do shearing, just like a panel down the back, up until the middle of my back, and then I can add the sleeves, and then this is done. Okay, I have done these sleeves 3 times now. So I had them going down on the side, but that just didn't fall right. And then this shearing went all the way, and it was just pulling too much. So I took some of the shearing out, and I'm now letting it go past, and then that will get its own separate hem, and it does look better. So I still need to do that. I still need to do some overlocking, but on the back I need to do shearing all the way down to there. But I'm tired now. It's 10:30. Good night. There's lots of advantages of designing your own patterns. You can get what you want. It's individual and unique, but there's one disadvantage. Or maybe not such a disadvantage, but it's irritating because you have to like play until you get it right. So I think I now got a configuration for the sleeve, and it looks nice on. Now I must just finish it. The sleeves needs to be done. I still need to do the shearing at the back from that line to that line all the way to there, and then I need to overlock the frill to the dress. When you do shearing, what I like to do is I lift my needle up to the top, and then I take my tweezer and I grab the elastic, and I just pull it out, and then I turn my work around, and to have my even spacing I keep on moving my needle. So if I go that way I put it on this side, and if I come back then I put it on that side, and that gives me a nice centimeter spacing. And I've drawn lines over there to know as my guide, and I will make sure pull my cotton straight by just moving the wheel. And then when I start I go forward and backwards a few times, about 3 or 4 times, and then I use this as my guide, and I just go, and I just pull it a little bit as I go, and I make sure my seam allowance keeps going in the same direction. So I just fold it and keep it in place with my finger. And then when I get to this line that I've drawn down, I go back and forward again, lift my needle, and then I start again. And I start by going, reverse it 2 or 3 times, and then I just go. And that's how you do shearing. So afterwards I will go and steam it, and that will just even out the shearing. Now you can see how it looks on the sides, and you can just leave it like that. it's not going to undo. And then on the front, those little loops that you see there, you can just cut them off. And this is your final step of shearing. Make your steam iron steaming a lot, and then just steam your elastic. I'm not really pressing, I'm literally just keeping some steam on it, and that will even it out and even pull it in a little bit. Okay, that's what we've got. It's nice and even and pulled in properly. I love it. I love this ruching. I love the frills, and it was worth all the effort and all the time. It took me about a day and a bit to make because I kept on struggling with these. I had the frills going around the arm and it just didn't fall right. So in the end, I moved them in to just go where the shirring is. I also gave it shirring at the back. The effect that it gives. And I was considering going lower with the shirring, but I'm actually very happy with this dress. So I've done this in collaboration with Tiffany from Who's Your Handmade, and she had the same fabric in her stash, and we decided to each make a dress or something and post it on the same day. I wish you could smell these roses. So I've always heard about rambling roses and wanted some, but where I lived you couldn't get any because of the wind. Back to my dress. I had 2 meters, and in the end I literally used it all. This is what I have left over pieces, so there was no fabric for a pocket. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that in the future, but for now I'm okay. I kind of like it when I can use all the fabric that I have to my disposal and there's nothing left. For the frill, I had 40 centimeters by 60 centimeters left over, but it was like running like this, so I cut strips. In the end I had 18 strips that I just connected. You can see I just overlocked them together like that, and it gave me 3 meters in the end for the frill. I wanted to add a frill because it gives weight to the dress, but also it made it longer. Overall, I am really happy with how it fits. I love this frill. I find it so cool for summer and still give me that feeling that I have a sleeve, because I sometimes feel self-conscious about my arms. And yes, that is my dress. Go over to Tiffany. I'll put a link to her channel and go and see what she has made. I can't wait to see what she did. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do if you like this type of content, or just give it a thumbs up. I will see you next time. Bye.